drafted 3 and 4 deep. That's how busy it was with the fish boats. 3 and 4 deep, like side by side by side. See, this would be a crab boat because he would pile high the crab nets on the wide stern. Here's another one right coming up right here too, a crabber.
Catching crabs.
And these two boats would go offshore quite substantially. These two huge boats. One's a dragnet and one's a seiner. Now, if you see curtains on a boat, lots of Taiwanese are in here now, and they still live on their boats in the harbor.
You mean Taiwanese catch fish here?
Yep. Well, they've moved here. They've immigrated to Canada, and they've taken up the fishing life that they probably had back home.
Oh, I thought they are Vietnamese.
No, Taiwanese and Vietnamese.
Oh,
and Koreans. Oh. Just going out to start fishing, he has to load his bilge areas with ice so he can pack the fish in the ice to keep them as fresh as possible. This device here is a boat would come in here with his load and they'd suck the fish out of the holes just like a vacuum cleaner. And here we have a portable one here just coming up, which would empty the boat of its fish and its ice, whatever's left.
Is this cannery?
Yeah, this is it's not a cannery as such, but it unloads the fish, packs them in a vehicle truck, and they go off to a cannery inland from here.
In Vancouver or Richmond?
In Vancouver. Yeah, there isn't any left. Well, there's a couple left in Richmond. One on the north arm and one on the middle arm. The middle arm is the one you cross when you go to the airport, the international airport. So we're coming up to what's referred to as East Pond. East Pond is the largest part of the harbor, and you'll get a look. I can't go in there with this boat, but you'll have a look down the channel and you'll just see how many boats there must have been here at one time. It's just fabulous. They had all these fabulous names for their warehouses, like this is Paramount and there's Phoenix. It sounds like movie theaters to me, but
Is this Broadway then?
Yeah. So here we come, the entrance to East Pond, just past this Orca Spirit Adventures.
Oh, this is a big one.
Yeah, it hasn't moved in several years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stay there?
He's supposed to be remodeling the inside.
Oh.
Now have a look down. This is the entrance to East Pond. You can see just how big the harbor is.
Oh, I see.
It's way bigger than the other end.
So
and they have a shipyard in there where they can haul out boats, lift them up with a big lift, gravel lift it's called.
So when the storm comes, it's blowing eastward or the wind?
Most our bad weather is southeast from there, and our good weather's northwest from behind us.
Okay.
And we have almost always have wind in Steveston because we're the most southwest corner of the lower mainland. Now we're coming up to the end of the harbor, and you can just barely see along the water. You can just see a ripple. There's a rock breakwater at the end of Shady Island. It only shows at low tide. In high tide, the water flushes over, and they've done that purposely so the whole harbor flushes out and is kept clean. And you'll see beyond that, you'll see pylons all lined up in a row. They have logs floating tied to the base of those so that flotsam and garbage that's floating in the water doesn't come into the harbor. Now we're coming up to the Japanese were interned in taken away from the shore because they thought they'd be a threat to us in the war with Japan, and interned in the prairie provinces and in the interior of British Columbia. 260 families were interned.
260.
1,300 of their fish boats were confiscated.
Is it means taken away or just temporary?
No, they were taken away. They were towed up to New Westminster and stored. But you will see a barge here with grass.
Okay.
What the fishermen used to do when they felt their boats were costing them too much money, and they weren't making enough money to support their boats, but it was going to cost them too much money to dismantle their boats, they used to run them on shore and abandon them here on Shady Island.
Oh, really?
So in a low tide, you can actually see lots of wrecks, but it's a higher tide right now.
Okay. They're towed to Northern Park.
Yeah.
Fishing farm facilities.
Yeah. And here we have a pretty typical new style of concrete docks that they're making nowadays to replace the old wooden ones.
Is it floating or
Yes, it's all floating.
Floating concrete.
Yep.
So it's hollow.
I made a concrete sailboat. It's the same concept. You just displaces water because you've got an air.
Is it eroded by seawater eventually?
Ruined by seawater?
Yeah.
Oh, it would take hundreds of years.
Okay.
Hundreds of years. Japanese families started coming back, just to see people living in their houses, other people running their boats, owning and running their fish boats. But because they were such good fishermen, the canneries all rehired them, and they were very industrious people. In a very short while, they were buying land, building new homes, and there's still quite a big Japanese population in Steveston today who came back after
around this area.
Oh yes. When I moved to Steveston, it was 3 generations of family living within a block and a half or 2 blocks of each other, and I can't recall seeing that anywhere else. There's an eagle on a tree.
Oh, that one.
They like those barren trees. I guess they can see the fish.
So they're watching the fishes.
Yeah, they're looking for food. Fraser River estuaries are an incredible nature spot for wildlife of all kinds, especially migrating birds. We get up to 10,000 snow geese at times. 10,000. They make a heck of a racket too when they're all talking to each other. And of course, Canadian geese are here. But there's many other kinds of birds that come by here. We have lots of predator birds. Oh yes, we had a gold rush in British Columbia. We had, in fact, Barkerville, which is virtually the very center of British Columbia. was the biggest city at one time, and it was a gold rush town. And it had bordellos and opium dens and all that kind of stuff that you don't see much anymore. In fact, the Steveston Hotel was the biggest bordello in British Columbia at one time. Fishermen used to be gone for weeks fishing, and they'd come back and they'd hand a girl a pile of money, and she would look after them for the weekend. Not just one thing, but she'd bathe them and feed them and wash them and all the rest of it. I don't think that's such a bad idea, is it?
So when you were young, and when that...
Oh no, that's long before my time.
Harbour. We're just recently allowing even recreational vessels like sailboats and powerboats, privately owned, into here.
You mean today here still the biggest fishing port?
It's still
in Vancouver,
the biggest
Canada.
fishing port in Canada. 900 boats still reside here, fish boats.
Oh. So how do you like this work?
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. I recently retired, and my wife wouldn't give me beer allowance, so I had to find a part-time job. And I've always loved being on the water, and and so I'm working on the water now, taking tourists around, and loving it.
Good, thanks. How's your name? What's your name?
My name is Trevor.
Trevor. So when people come, is this your business or?
No, it's not. I'm working for Vancouver Whale Watch.
Oh, Whale Watch.
And if you want to go on a really exciting trip, you should go on one of those bigger boats.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and they leave right
is
from.
Is that boat bigger one is owned by them?
No. They have their boats where that yellow dock is tied up, but they're out now with a crew. Brothers own those major two restaurants up here.
Oh, what brothers?
Two brothers.
Okay.
One brother owns Shady Island restaurant. One brother owns Sockeye City.
Oh.
And but apparently they're not talking to each other anymore. They're competitors.
They born here and raised here?
Yeah.
Are they local people?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Ask you not to move until I get all the lines, bow and stern tied up.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Oh, you've got a bunch of stuff to put together anyway.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh. Bye-bye.